Welcome Average Joe Nation from around the globe. Props to you for staying up to date and keeping in the know. With fantasy football, man, very soon you'll reign. The knowledge that these three guys have, man, it is insane. Fantasy football talk, hateful eight, they wear the crown. Hold it down, Pickle, Blackburn, and Trimboli, hold it down. Pulling up to LB Design Studio, we're getting loud. Season 2, headphones on, red light go, break it down.
Welcome back to the Hateful Eight Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Pickle, and with me as always, Blackburn.
What it do, fam?
And Trimboli.
The fans in the house.
This episode, we will be discussing the rest of the Week 15 matchups and getting your lineups ready, hopefully to get you to the next level of the fantasy playoffs.
Which is the championship.
Oh, yes.
In most leagues, yes. However, there are some leagues that apparently play Week 17.
However, screw those leagues.
Bomb.
Tell me how you really feel.
Just kidding.
Anyway,
He's
no, he's not.
We're not breaking down week 17. So.
No.
Just kidding.
A lot of the guys that got the playoffs locked up, spoiler alert, aren't playing.
Yeah. As always, don't forget to follow the show's Facebook and Twitter and Instagram accounts. Now onto the Week 15, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Weekly starts and sits, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
All right, the good, the bad, the ugly, presented by StatRoute. Dominate your league. Get the stats used by the pros. Any stat, any player, any team, available in under 5 seconds. Head over to statroute.com. Use the promo code HatefulFF for 25% off your subscription. Man, Week 15. I can't believe that we're already to this point. I mean, we're literally, if you're playing in a regular normal league that ends in Week 16.
Yeah.
A good one.
Yeah. This is, I mean, you're literally in the home stretch. I mean, this is it.
Yeah.
It's do or die, as they say. And if you go down swinging at least.
Yep.
So
it's either the best time of the year or the worst time of the year. Depends on where you're at in the league.
Well, if you listen to Christmas music, it's the most wonderful
See?
time.
Oh, sorry.
See?
Really?
Hey, you know what? I'm just saying he picked up on it. You didn't. Where
This
were
is
you
supposed
at?
to be a sacred place.
Where were you at? Anyways, all right, let's get into
I'm
the
a Grinch over here. I'm about to destroy all these Christmas gifts.
Jeez. Oh man. All right. So who had the early games?
Yeah.
Me. Yes, I did.
No.
All right, I did.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Anyways, Texans at Jets. The good in this one, Demaryius Thomas. I have him / Kiki Kuti, and it's because
Kiki.
Do you love me?
there you go. The Jets are horrible.
Score some points,
The Jets are horrible against the
'cause I really want to win.
You don't even have to say anything. Just stop it. The Jets are horrible.
Yeah, they're 32nd against wide receivers, giving up an average about 43 fantasy points in PPR a game. So
Wow.
That's a little bit of points.
Hopkins is obviously going to get his points, but Demaryius Thomas is going to continue to be the possession receiver, as you want to call it, and Kiki Kuti has filled in for the Will Fuller position as the deep home run threat. So,
All right, share the wealth.
Yeah.
right. So I'm just saying these guys have the opportunity to be low-end wide receiver 2s, high-end wide receiver 3s this week, playing a horrible Jets defense. So
I like Kiki a little bit more than Thomas, only because the home run play. So
Yeah.
if you're going to play him in your flex, you're looking for that big play.
Right.
I think he's got a bigger play opportunity now. Demaryius Thomas might be a safer play, so I guess it depends on what kind of points you need.
true. So the bad in this one, Elijah McGuire, they are 8th. Houston is against the run, so they are a top 10 defense against the run in fantasy points. They don't give up very many to the running back position, and I just think that the Jets are probably going to have to throw this ball a ton to keep in this game with the Houston Texans offense moving down the field.
Game script for sure on this one.
So
It's going to get ugly.
yeah, and Crowell was seen with a boot on this week. So
And not a Timberland boot either. It was just like one of them walking boots.
He got dust boot.
Das Boot.
Das Boot. Oh man. So and then my ugly in this one, I really looked and searched to try to figure out who I could put, and the only person I could put was the Houston's defense special team. So they're a streamable defense this week because
Absolutely.
Darnold is going to throw the ball, and more often than not, we found when Darnold throws the ball, there's about a 45-50% chance it's going into the guy with the opposite colored jersey. So why not? Plus the pass rush is there;
Yeah,
they're going to put pressure.
He's going to be under pressure big time.
So I'm on. That's the one that I found out of this whole game that I felt like was a comfortable, ugly play. So even though Houston's only been averaging about 5 to 6 fantasy points defensively, this could be one where they get 10 plus just because of the opportunity there. So The Browns at the Broncos. So early on in the year, you would have thought this is going to be an easy game for the Broncos.
Not anymore.
No. The Browns offense and defense is playing lights out, and Baker Mayfield is keeping them in that game to win. So the good in this one, Phillip Lindsay.
Obviously.
Right. The Browns are 30th against the run. I only put him in there because he did come off of a bad game this past week, and people might be skeptical, thinking, "Oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
It's not gonna." He's trending down.
In a PPR standard, he's still got you 15, but yeah, it's not the numbers. I thought he was gonna be north of that.
Yeah. So just pace yourself. He's got a good matchup this week against the Browns defense. Now, I just talked about Baker Mayfield being playing really well, but I just think I've got him as my bad, and that's because the Broncos defense is top 5 against quarterbacks, and being a young quarterback in a potential hostile environment on the road, you might see a couple bad decisions, couple forced throws that might create turnovers, and the pass rush there with Von Miller might get to him every once in a while and create some bad decisions with throwing the ball. So
could be some Chubb on Chubb action going on.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I was like, who else's name is Chubb in this team? But I was like, I thought it was just Nick Chubb. Bradley Chubb, the defensive lineman. There you go. The ugly in this one, Deshaun Hamilton had a good week last week for you coming in. Cortland Sutton played but
he has just not been what I thought he was going to be.
No, translation, it has not helped.
No.
It has not worked for him yet. So
He's lost in translations, what he is.
Yeah. True. So Deshaun Hamilton has nicely slid into the I guess the Emmanuel Sanders role in that offense and playing the slot and being a lot of the dink and dunk receptions, who's going to see a lot of targets. So I just think with this opportunity, it's the middle of the road where the Browns are 17th against the wide receivers. And if Cortland Sutton's not doing anything, somebody's going to have to catch the ball eventually to move this ball down the field. So why not Deshaun Hamilton?
Yeah. Oh, Keenum's got to get him the ball, but yeah.
I think the opportunity.
Lindsey.
Yeah.
Lindsey.
There you go.
Yeah.
Lindsey's going to throw it?
No, he's going to catch it.
Oh.
There you go.
He's not a running back.
No.
Gotcha, I guess.
See? All right.
Real quick.
Yeah.
These games are on Saturday.
Yes.
Just
Correct.
So everyone knows. So just kind of, I almost treat it like a Thursday night game.
Yeah.
You can move them out of your flex, put them in your starting spot. The way if something happens, you're able to make that adjustment on Sunday.
Agreed. Good call on that one.
Good tip.
There you go. Cowboys at the Colts. The good in this one, and it's only because I think that the ball is going to be thrown around a lot, and because the Colts defense is poor against the receivers. I got Michael Gallup. He's facing the 23rd worst defense against the wide receivers. We all know Amari Cooper is going to be out there, and he's going to see his opportunities. But I think they're going to try to dictate as much double coverage and/or their best cover guy on Amari Cooper. Which to me, for the love of everything holy, if Dak can connect on one of those deep throws to Michael Gallup, when he is literally 5 to 6 steps ahead of the defensive guy, and he just somehow managed to throw 2 to 3 yards ahead of him, you're just like,
I don't get those deep throws by Dak. I'm just like, every time I'm like, watch this, incomplete.
Yeah. Bloop. I mean, those are the throws, and I'm not trying to, because he's a different style, but those were the throws that Tony Romo hits in stride. No problem, no questions. However, unfortunately, Tony Romo also was physically unable to continue to play, obviously. But I just think that if Dak can connect, I mean, you see the opportunity. He went 2 or 3 times, even in the Philadelphia game against a weak secondary, to Gallup down the sideline, and he ended up not being able to connect to any of them. Now, if he can connect on one of those, I mean, they're usually about a 40 or 50-yard catch with touchdown. I mean, that's 10-plus points right there on one throw. So that's why I've got him as the good in this one, because, I mean, obviously you're playing Mari. Obviously you're playing Ezekiel Elliott. You're playing T.Y. Hilton. You're playing Ebron. You're playing Luck. So I'm just saying this is what you're looking at.
You say Zeke?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're playing him. The bad in this one.
Bench him.
Yeah. The bad in this one, the Colts running back situation. Unfortunately, they're playing lackluster the last I don't know how many weeks. And the Cowboys are number 6 against the run. They're no joke. So a team that is struggling in the run game probably is not going to be successful against a strong run-stopping defense. So I would hold your breath and not play Nyheim Hines or Marlon Mack. So
there's no return on the Mack.
No,
right now.
No. And the ugly in this one, I've got, and it's only because I couldn't find anybody else to really put in to that spot, but Dak Prescott. The Colts are literally the worst team against a quarterback. They're giving up the most points, fantasy points to a quarterback. And like I said, if Dak is continuing to do what he does with Amari Cooper, if he somehow managed to run the ball 1 or 2 times in the end zone, which you didn't see him do in Philadelphia because they never really got the opportunity to have him run for whatever reason. When they got in the red zone, there was a couple times they just tried to hand the ball off or whatever. They didn't do it, and they ended up having to kick field goals. So I think that if he connects on 1 or 2 touchdowns, I mean, rushing touchdowns, there's an opportunity there. Now, I'm not starting him over like a guaranteed player, but I'm saying if you're streaming quarterbacks at this point,
or if you're a 2-quarterback league.
True. This to me is a good play and a good upside potential ceiling for Dak Prescott in this game. So, Dolphins at Vikings, interesting game. Both teams coming off of interesting endings. You got the Vikings coming off of a blocked field goal that was questioned with Wagner, and then a couple bad decisions late with Kirk Cousins throwing the ball. Then you've got the Dolphins, who played about average all game and then somehow managed to do the Miami Miracle and propel themselves into that playoff potential, which is crazy to think.
They had so many home run plays. It was unreal.
Yeah. So the good in this one, I got Kirk Cousins. I just think that this is a game and this is the defense that I think he can take advantage of for once. The Dolphins are 25th against quarterbacks, so good matchup for a guy who is coming off of a couple struggling games against tough defenses. So
I'll be anxious to see what their offense looks like.
Yeah,
with
the new OC with Della Filippo gone. So we'll see. Bad in this one, Miami wide receivers. Vikings are a good defense. The offense may not be doing as well, but the defense is still a good defense, and they're 7th against wide receivers. So I just think that ultimately this is what you're looking at. Bad game for the passing game for Miami. I'm not saying that they can't score a touchdown on a potential moving the ball down the field, but you're not going to play any of these wide receivers and feel great about them being in even your flex spot.
Yeah, I think Kenny Stills is fool's gold if he's still out there and available. I mean, he had a pretty good game last week. I just don't see it repeating itself this week.
Their receivers they've all been like that all season.
Yeah, it's like hit and miss, and
in the playoffs,
usually
you don't want that.
No,
you don't want any questions at all.
Yep.
The ugly in this one, now that Della Filippo's gone, Kyle Rudolph, because the Dolphins are 26th against the tight end, and you may be sitting there, you may have had Jordan Reed, and he's done. Vernon Davis might not be available, and you got Kyle Rudolph you've been stashing away on your bench just because you can't play him, but you don't want to let him go because there may be a time where he starts getting in a rhythm.
Yeah.
This is a game that you could potentially use him and feel somewhat good about it. Not great, but good. Hence why it's the ugly.
Yeah.
You're not feeling like, oh, you know what? This is a guaranteed 10 points. However, he may get you 10 points.
All right, just based on matchup alone, I mean, it's a good matchup. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not 100% sold on Kyle Rudolph, but I was looking at the game and I was like, I mean, he has to be the ugly in this one. New offensive coordinator, maybe a fresh start. Maybe they actually start using him and Dalvin Cook in the game. We'll see. So
if not, just put on a red nose and you can lead Santa's sleigh there, Rudolph.
True. That was a good one. Raiders at the Bengals. Wow.
There's a lot of good there.
I really had to search for the good. The good in this one for me is Jared Cook.
Yes.
He is still the main. He is the main guy in and out every week that you feel like great in that offense. And I'm just saying, you're dealing with Jordy Nelson, who is You're dealing with Seth Roberts. That run game with Doug Martin and whoever else they decide to throw in there. I'm not 100%
The
sold
Raiders
on
are
it.
like the island of misfit toys.
Yeah.
Right. But you know what? The Bengals give up a ton of points to their running back. So
True.
I mean, Doug Martin could be a sneaky play here.
True.
Well, they signed C.J. Anderson last week and then released him.
So, it's just worth bringing him in. And they were like, yeah, I guess the rejected Ninja Turtle is good. We're all right.
Hamster.
He's out of ooze.
He is. The bad in this one, Oakland wide receivers, don't play any of them.
Trash, all of them.
And the Bengals are actually surprisingly good against wide receivers. They are 11th, so
Not bad.
shocking.
It's weird because we're like terrible against the quarterback though.
Oh, you are.
I'll
get to that. Don't worry.
Those numbers can,
Don't worry. I got
they
that.
do.
The ugly, Derek Carr.
Oh gosh.
And that is because the Bengals are 28th against quarterbacks. They are giving up the 28th worst amount of points to the quarterback. So,
Not good.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
I guess the car's safe in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Not overnight, though.
Not overnight. It'd be on blocks. All right, so that's all my games. Who?
I got the next set.
You got the next set of games. All right, what do we got?
Tennessee at New York. The Giants. My good in this is, yes, everyone listen up. I'm going to say his name, and I've been happy to say it's Derrick Henry. Listen, he's not going to have the huge blow-up game. I'm not expecting that, but the Giants are allowing 28 points to the running back, and they've let up a total of 16 total touchdowns. That's a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah.
In the last 2 weeks, he has touched Lewis, rushing the ball, and his red zone attempts are 9 for Henry and only 3 for Lewis.
Okay.
So for me, right now the backfield's kind of trending toward Henry.
And the weather's getting a little bit colder, so you're gonna
Right.
it kind of slows down some of those little schemes that you're using
This
with
is in
Deion
New
Lewis.
York?
Yes.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be a colder game.
Yep. My bad in this is Evan Ingram. I know he had a pretty good game last week. Titans are number 1 against the tight end. And listen, they haven't even let up a touchdown to a tight end yet.
Well, Evan Ingram had basically one big play.
Right.
True.
His stat line looked good, I should say. But
Yeah.
I still think it's going to be a disappearing act for him like it's been all year.
Yep.
And then my ugly, again, like Pickle had said earlier, I had to search for this. It's Sterling Shepard. If OBJ is still nursing an injury, even if he plays, if he's not his full potential, Sterling Shepard's your next biggest target guy.
Yeah.
He is. He gets hit down the
Yeah.
field a lot.
Now, listen, he's hit and miss. I know that, but that to me, he's the only other option I think I'd play in this game. I'd play him over Corey Davis. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
this game it's slim pickings.
Yeah.
But moving on to Blackburn's dear to his heart team, Washington, at Jacksonville.
Just cry face emoji right now.
For the whole
Hashtag sad
game.
face.
The over-under in this is only 36.
Yeah.
They don't think there's going to be some points.
No.
So my good in this is Jacksonville's defense.
Yeah.
The Redskins threw 3 interceptions last week. I think it's going to be the same
Well,
situation
the
this
Redskins
week.
didn't butt fumble through 3 interceptions.
True.
Well, yes. Johnson threw 1.
Oh well.
But he also scored 2 touchdowns, so that negates
True.
1. Laws of
Okay.
math, butt fumble sucks.
There you go.
So, but fumble, bad.
Bad play. Don't touch.
So my bad is the whole Washington offense.
Yeah.
Jaguars ranked near the top in all the statistical categories against all those players. Do not play Washington. Listen, someone's going to do well. I'm not going to say they're not. Doxson could be all right. Crowder could be all right. Who knows? But you're not going to be able to pick which one's going to show up that day.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just avoid them.
Yep.
And my ugly for this one, if you're struggling at the wide receiver spot, it's D.D. Westbrook. He leads the team in receiving yards and targets in the red zone. His 19 targets over the last 3 weeks with 13 receptions, 2 touchdowns. It's not bad. It's good enough for a flex spot.
Yeah.
And Washington, it's a favorable defense to go up against, so they're ranked 25th against the wide receiver. So
Yeah.
Trash.
again, all right. Now moving on to a game that's got a little bit more pizzazz. It's
Yeah.
Arizona at Atlanta. And my good in this, it's a little different. Someone we don't talk about a lot is Ito Smith.
Yeah.
His snap count last week, he only had 1 less snap than Tevin Coleman.
Okay.
Tevin Coleman's been a disappointment.
Right. So that's back to who were we talking about a couple weeks ago? Back when you saw Cohen.
Start kind of transitioning.
Yeah, he's doing more with his opportunities. That's what I think Ito Smith's doing here. I think Ito Smith's going to be the better play. It's a very favorable matchup against Arizona, who's ranked 29th against the running back. I think Ito Smith's going to be a solid play this week. Again, it's more of a flex play. I'm not saying he's probably a low-end RB2, maybe middle of the road.
Okay.
My bad in this is Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been struggling.
He's held under 16 fantasy points the last 2 weeks, and the Cardinals ranked 3rd. And you know what their average for points for a quarterback is each week?
17.
16.
Okay.
Called it.
Man, look
Nailed
at you
it.
guys.
This guy knows.
He knows it.
So, again, I think Matt Ryan's going to struggle. I think there's other quarterback options you could play.
Yeah.
And then my ugly, I had to say someone for the Cardinals, right? Outside of DJ, I think it'll be Fitz. He's the next guy that's going to get the most volume of
He's the only-
targets. So,
He's the only guy out there.
right, but it's Rosen has just been kind of down lately. So, I don't know. Atlanta's terrible against the wide receiver, or not terrible, the middle of the road. I think there could be opportunity there.
Okay.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Detroit at Buffalo.
Oh,
Again,
my.
Another barn burner.
yes, I had the good games. So, if you need a 2-quarterback spot, I'm going to talk about Josh Allen now.
Yeah.
He's got a very good matchup against the Lions, and over the last 3 games, he's rushed for 269 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Look at that.
And if you played him last week, he didn't even throw a rushing or didn't even throw one passing touchdown, and still he had more fantasy points than Wilson, Trubisky, Cousins, Rivers, Breeze, and Goff.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
if you're having a 4-quarterback passing, or you get 4 points for the passing touchdown, and 6 for the rushing, Josh Allen is a very sneaky play this week against Detroit.
Yeah. Not bad.
I like that. I like that breakdown.
Yeah. And my bad is on the other side.
Oh.
My
shocking.
boy, Matt Stafford, who I thought was going to be unreal.
Yeah, he
Don't
is
play.
unreal.
He's
He
terrible.
is being unreal.
Sucks.
Listen to this. So not only the Bills #1 against the quarterback, but in his last 6 games since the Tate trade, he has thrown a total of 4 touchdowns. He's had 3 games with no touchdowns. He hasn't put up more than 20 fantasy points in that time span.
Wow.
Sucks.
Yes, not good. So
That's pretty much summed up.
So anyone who listened to me for Matthew Stafford, I apologize.
Yeah.
You can send me all the hate messages because
You deserve it.
I do.
Fair enough.
And then an ugly. Again, it's Zay Jones for me. And it's strictly because he's the target guy there in
Right.
Buffalo. And he's kind of moved to the outside. So like I said with Kiki Kuti, he might have that home run play.
Yeah.
If you're looking for points, I like him kind of the most out of everyone. I mean, Isaiah McKenzie, who's kind of come in, he might have a better floor, but I like Zay Jones' ceiling a lot more.
Yeah, most definitely.
So
Nice.
then my last game, I got one more. Green Bay at Chicago.
Yeah.
I like Treat Cohen. I know Jordan Howard had a good game. I think it'll go back to Cohen. He's a PPR guy. They're going to be passing the ball that backfield. My bad in this is the guy who's been great. He's probably carried a bunch of teams at this point. It's Aaron Jones. We saw what they did to Gurley, held him to 8 points. Aaron Jones is not Gurley. So I'm not playing Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
And then my ugly in this, outside of the Green Bay wide receivers, though, is I'm going to play Allen Robinson for Chicago.
Yeah.
He's got a good matchup against the Packers. They're ranked 29th against the pass. So
I like it.
Yeah.
that's what I got for those games.
Yeah.
Good.
Great games.
Yeah, I was excited. Trust me. Took a lot of coffee to get through these games.
Yeah. Well.
Well, I got the late games.
Yeah. What you got?
My games are slightly better.
Slightly.
The first one's Buccaneers at Ravens. My good for this one is Cameron Brate.
Oh yeah.
He's averaged 11 points over the last 3 games. He's their red zone threat. And Baltimore's defense is really good, but this is their weak spot. They're ranked 22nd against tight ends.
Yeah.
Right.
So I like Cameron Brate. My bad for this one is Jameis Winston. He's averaging 23 points over the last 3 games, but Baltimore's second against quarterbacks. Last week, they held Patrick Mahomes to 18 points until the overtime period. He ended up with 24. So
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is way better than Jameis Winston is my point there.
No.
Oh, I picked up what you were putting down.
Baltimore will take the ball away a lot more.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there could be some turnovers. Winston's known to throw some picks.
And
Just a bit.
Speaking
Yeah.
of Baltimore's defense, my ugly for this one is Mike Evans. I know you're going to play him because he's a stud, but he's only averaging 11 points per game over the last 2 games, and Baltimore is #1 against wide receivers.
Yeah.
You know what? Baltimore just doesn't let up that big play.
Yeah.
No.
You know what I mean? So that's like what we were talking about with Kiki and I was talking about with D.D. Westbrook, or Zay Jones, I mean. That over-the-top play is just not there against Baltimore.
Right. And that's what makes their stats look so good.
True.
Next game, Seahawks at 49ers. My good for this one is George Kittle. He's averaging 17 points per game this season. He's their #1 pass-catching option. What?
He's
Oh,
got
I'm
the
sorry.
biggest smile on his face.
I did a little Grinch
Sure he
smile.
does. This last game was ridiculous. 42 targets over the last 4 games for George Kittle. Seattle is 7th against tight ends, but I don't care. George Kittle is matchup proof in that offense.
I agree.
He is the offense.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
My bad for this one is wide receiver Marquise Goodwin. He's only averaging 5 points per game over the last 3 games. You know why? Because Kittle's getting all the love.
Yeah.
It's funny. The total wide receivers, all 3 of the starting wide receivers for the 49ers have 37 combined targets over the last 3 games. Kittle has 42.
Dang.
So don't play Marquise Goodwin. My ugly for this one is Tyler Lockett. Baldwin's still banged up. He hasn't really been producing much anyway. Locket's averaging 16 points per game over the last 3. He's their most targeted wide receiver with 61.
Yep.
The next closest is Baldwin. He's only got 50 targets. San Francisco is 22nd against wide receivers.
Yeah, this is where they're going to get torched.
Well, I'll tell you what, another guy to put in that bad spot. I know Jeff Wilson might have been a sneaky play last week. I'd avoid him this week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, please don't.
Seahawks defense is
Yeah.
Bobby Wagner is a monster.
Yeah, they've reignited that whole Legion of Boom talk.
Oh, It's unreal. I mean, it's like I said, it's stronger at home, but still, I mean, San Francisco is going to struggle.
It's their front seven that's doing the damage now, not so much the
back end of the defense. Most definitely. They've got a lot of young guys on that back end. They're talented, but they're not like the guys that they used to with Chancellor and Thomas.
All
and
Pro Bowlers.
Right.
And listen, I'm not a big Pete Carroll fan, but
no,
kudos to him, man. He has reinvented this team.
He brought in Ken Norton Jr. in, and they kind of revamped some of this defense and made it all, like you said, it's all front end heavy, and where the talent is, and putting pressure on the quarterback and just letting their corners and safeties basically man up.
Yeah. Yep, they got rid of all the attitudes on defense, so it's a new, it's fresh air up here. Next game, Patriots at Steelers. I think there's going to be points everywhere in this game.
Yes.
My good for this one is Juju Smith-Schuster. He's averaging 29 points per game over the last 3 games. And with Connor out, I mean, they didn't really use Jalen Samuels that much, or who was the other guy that got the touchdown?
Stephen Ridley.
That guy. You know, it's whatever.
The ex-Patriot.
Yeah, they're going to throw. New England's 23rd against wide receivers, so I like Smith-Schuster in this one.
He had a sick catch, by the way.
He did.
That was unreal.
My bad for this one is Sony Michel. He's just averaging 8 points per game over the last 2 games. I think New England's going to throw to stay in this game.
Yeah.
So with game script, it's going to favor James White.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh's 4th against running backs anyway. They're tough.
Yeah, I mean, Sony Michel over the last couple games has seen more volume than James White, but I also think that's been game script and it's been more beneficial. The games have been close. I think this could be the Pittsburgh offense could be putting points on the board. Now, Big Ben tends to struggle against the Patriots. However, being at home is a benefit.
Home. Yeah.
The Steelers need this game.
Yeah, well, the Steelers need this, and the Patriots would like to continue to get an opportunity to get back into the hunt to get the number 1 overall seed.
I think they clinch the division if they win this game.
They do, but they also are still in the hunt for that number 1 seed. They got to get Kansas City. Got to stumble twice, but it's possible.
Then L.A. would have to stumble too.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
My ugly for this one is Jalen Samuels, especially in the tight end. If you could do it that way, whatever, that's great. But anyway, 14 points per game over the last 2 games that he's played. I think he's going to play more of a role in the passing game because they're going to have to throw to stay in the game.
Yep. Most definitely.
Now, Connor is, I guess, rumored to be.
Yeah, it's a game. It'll be a
decision, but I still don't. I don't know if I trust him running him out there.
Why rush it? I mean, I understand they're on the cusp of trying to make the wild card, or even they're the division.
They're division.
Yeah.
At this point, they're still a divisional guy.
They're still in the playoffs. Is what we're saying.
Yeah,
I agree, but.
If Jalen Samuels is doing enough to get you through the game and you throw in Stephen Ridley here and there in the plays that you don't feel Jalen Samuels is comfortable in, why rush James Conner back when you know that you got him? If you get to the playoffs, he's golden.
You need Conner in the playoffs.
Right.
Samuels is not going to get you through the playoffs.
No.
He's been a great play. He's been a great fill-in, but Connor's the guy you need.
Long term, you're going to want.
Yep. Next game, Eagles at Rams, Sunday Night Football.
Oof.
My good for this one's Robert Woods. He's averaging 17 points per game. He leads the team in targets with 111.
Yeah.
Philly's secondary is straight garbage.
Yeah.
They're ranked 31st against wide receivers.
Yeah. Cooper did a number on him.
And it's at Rams. They just came off a tough loss, I think.
Yeah.
They're going to be.
Listen, they're going to ball out.
They're going to show out. Yeah.
Most definitely.
My bad for this one is running back Josh Adams. He's only averaging 6 points per game over the last 2 games. I think game script's not going to favor him a lot.
No.
They're just going to be throwing the ball. And the Rams are 7th against running backs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. But I just think the running backs in general is not going to be a fun one for the Eagles.
Yeah. My ugly for this one is Jared Goff. Listen to the last 2 games. At Detroit, 10 points. At Chicago, 3 points.
Yeah.
At home this year, he's averaging 31 points per game. Versus away, he's only averaging 11 points per game.
Is he like the next generation's Big Ben?
Yeah.
Where the split home and away is so significant?
Well, the problem is also when Cooper Kupp was in and playing well, Goff was really good.
Yeah.
So kind of since Kupp's kind of gone away, it's been a transition. So, yes, and it's definitely, as he just said, it's dwindled in the away games.
31 at home, 11 away.
I think that they've went and to fill in the Cooper Kupp possession guy. They've kind of started using the tight ends a little bit more, Higbee and Everett. But I mean, they're not Cooper Kupp. Nothing against them, but a tight end is not the same as a wide receiver, athletic ability wise in this sense.
I'll tell you what, they look better when they get Robert Woods going.
Yeah,
because I think that opens up Cooks.
True.
Yeah, because Cooks has been struggling the last couple games.
Right.
Yeah, Philly's 17th against quarterbacks. I like Jared Goff a lot this week.
Yeah.
My last game, Saints at Panthers, Monday Night Football. My good for this one is Cam, obviously.
Yep.
23 points per game this season. Saints secondary's 31st against quarterbacks. Fire up Cam on Monday night.
Yeah.
Even with a bad shoulder, you fire him up.
Well, he's got that rushing ability that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's just what we talked about with Allen. It's just there.
Yeah.
Plus I think they're going to have to throw a lot.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have to keep up with the New Orleans Saints.
True.
My bad is tight end Ian Thomas. I know he's averaged 14 points per game since Olsen went out, but the strength of the New Orleans defense is their guard against the tight end. They're 5 against tight ends. Top 5.
Not bad.
My ugly is DJ Moore. He leads the team in targets, or he leads wide receivers in targets, receivers, and yards. He's averaging 18 points per game this season, and the New Orleans Saints are dead last against wide receivers.
You know who also has been kind of good, too, is Curtis Samuel recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's came on strong.
Most definitely.
I'd still rather play DJ over Curtis Samuel, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But in deep league, Curtis Samuel's more than likely still on your waiver wire.
Yeah. We'll see. So, all
Some
right.
Good games.
Good games. Some interesting games. Maybe the ones that Trimboli handled,
you
not
can
the
burn
most
them.
exciting, but
Yeah.
anyways.
Burn all my notes.
So, all right. I want to tell you guys thanks again for tuning in to today's show, whether it's the YouTube, the podcast, or on DATV. Please check out the site, thehateful8ff.com. You can find our weekly in-season articles. Follow our personal accounts on Twitter at jpickle_th8ff, at jblackburnth8ff, and at ftrimth8ff. There is still time to join the Average Donation and support the show via the Patreon tab, as well as get your Week 15 help. And we'll be at the 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be doing the Q&As to last second questions for you on your rosters to get the last minute Q&A to go.
Yeah. Just remember, I know we do it then, but you can hit us up on Twitter anytime you want,
Anytime
especially with
you want.
Saturday games.
Yeah,
You know.
most definitely. So whether it's Saturday, Sunday, however you want to do it, we'll be available. But for sure, Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard on Twitter will be available. So, all right. Thanks again. Good luck this weekend. And hopefully we will be talking to you next week in the championship week, and you'll still be alive and well in that game. So, all right. We'll see you guys next week.
There ain't no one like these three. You know you just heard Pickle, Blackburn, and Trimboli. Give the goods talking about nothing but fantasy football. Yeah, it's your year to dominate and to wear that ring. Prepare for the draft and dial in on your craft. Quarterback, the first round is a good choice, you ask? This guy's got first round pick, a favorite? Not so fast. He failed to tune into Hateful Eight. He's a chump finishing last.